Well, how's it going, Kingsman? Welcome back to another NTW3 battle. Today we have a 4v4, another clan battle, in fact. This one is between the GR and LK clans. Now, disclaimer right away, still recovering from being sick, guys. My voice may go out. I'm not sure. So if you hear my voice doing funny things, it's because my voice is only halfway back. I can feel it already, starting to feel a little stressed. Now I've just started, so I'm probably gonna be coughing a bunch. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, guys, let's check out the points here. I don't have the French points, unfortunately, but we can check out the GR clan. So we have up here, you have the 9-point, and I don't even remember the cores for this. I apologize. Like I said, I'm just throwing stuff together really fast without doing a lot of research, because you know I'm like, I gotta record. I gotta keep posting content that I enjoy doing. But I didn't do my due diligence. I didn't research the cores, so I apologize. But you got a 9-point Austria here. Behind them is a 7-point Prussia. You have a 9-point Russia as well. Excuse me. And then on the far left flank, you have the 10-point. It's like an Austria-Württemberg, which is actually kind of cool. You know, you don't see Württemberg very often anymore. And I always enjoyed playing them in the old versions. They had some very nice units. Very aesthetically pleasing units, just gorgeous, and I'm glad at least they are still alive in the cores. In the historical core armies, they are still alive. Now we do have a massive skirm screen being put up by the 9-point Austria. You can see France doesn't really have the cavalry as much to match Austrian cav yet, at least. They do have infantry, they do have artillery that is pushing forward. Looks like some 12-pounders. These are going to start making life a little bit of a living hell. Now, hopefully, France deploys them on top of this little hill instead of behind it. That could really affect their firing capabilities. And you do have the French. They're pushing up some light infantry. Maybe they can form a square, maybe they can't. I'm assuming if they're pushing up quite aggressively, they do have cav support to defend them, but they also seem to be quite confident in pushing forward here. It does look like the focus of France so far, right here down this road. Now, of course, there's another French army that is pushing up to meet, I'm just going to call them Württemberg because it's two Austrias. So we have a whole French army here. Now, Württemberg is scouting with some Chevaliers. It does look like this is an Imperial army, so we got a lot of elite infantry from France here. And that's going to make things a little more interesting for Württemberg to push up on them. Maybe it's Württemberg, not Württemberg. Württemberg? Is it Württemberg? You guys can correct me. And then listen to me say it wrong the rest of the time. More of Austrian troops are now pushed up. They definitely have taken and garrisoned this kind of small little town center here. Let's see, that Prussia is pushing up right behind them. Russia is kind of pushing to the left here. Maybe gonna push up this road, reinforce Württemberg, and maybe make a push on the left-hand side. They do have artillery from Prussia, who's also pushing up. Russia has their guns as well, so a good amount of artillery. Now, I do see quite a bit of coalition cavalry. That is going to be a huge bonus for them in the fight to come. Now, we do have another French army rolling down this road. It's almost like this is like Gettysburg, and you have all these troops converging on it from multiple directions at once. And then, of course, you have the... Oh, there's not really high ground around it, I guess. This is the Gettysburg of the Napoleonic era. I'm just going to call it that because I like how the roads are converging and France is just pushing directly down for those roads with quite a glorious looking force. Now, maybe he's going to pull back just a little bit, do a double take, maybe reconsider, reorganize their army. France hasn't really made a decisive push yet. We do have cavalry trying to push back that screen of French cav so they can start seeing where the French plan on moving. Now, Württemberg is being kind of ignored. You can see France is just pushing directly to the flank. Maybe they're hoping to move quicker than the coalition moves, and they can go and smack in from 3, maybe 4 sides. I don't know if there's 2 French armies here, 1 on each flank. We'll see how things develop. That is the potential. Now, the French may be leaving a small diversionary force here, or a small rear guard, if you want to call it that, with some of their best units. Some nice grenadiers. They even have, oh yeah, they got some good units here on the flank. They're gonna probably try to hold off the coalition while the main bulk of their army starts pushing down this road. Now, Russia is moving to meet them. Maybe. Austria seems to be forming up, you can see. Kind of in preparation for the assault. France has artillery set up. We're starting to hear the guns thundering. At least a little bit of artillery firing. And it does appear that Prussia will take the right flank. Austria takes the center. Russia seems to be going... Hey, what's Russia doing? Is Russia being a reserve? Russia may be a reserve, and then Württemberg is being the left flank. Now, the real question is, where's France massing up their infantry? And like I said, I still suspect... Oh, wow, I totally missed a cav engagement here on the far right flank here. It looks like some Kazakis broke some French cav. Maybe was going to try to do a little bit of scouting of their own. Yeah, some Hussars break, and actually, because they're so close to the edge of the map, they run away. So now Russia has free reign to scout this area, see where France is pushing. Now, there is also some sappers that took up this LOC. If nothing else, this is going to be an excellent scouting position without risk of being killed. Except for this one poor bloke that's sitting outside. Rip him. But yeah, it looks like there's a French army pushing over here, so potentially... I think this is one army, though. Oh, there's another French army. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 3 armies in this one area. That's why Russia's formed up in a reserve. And Prussia's going to just deal with this other French army that's sitting here. So Austria getting very close. You can see a lot of cav massing up in this open area. This is just going to maybe prove for some excellent cav play. If they can keep this area open, have the infantry on each side to start pummeling this, especially the Imperial Guard, who has some smaller but elite units, they can kind of hammer these guys down a little bit, maybe prove very beneficial. You can see they're taking a couple shots here. These guys don't seem worried at all. They're like, ah, George, sleep it off. They're getting shot up, though, and they're not returning fire, interestingly enough. Oh, it's because the skirms are shooting. Now, artillery is starting to shoot. Now, the coalition is going to have to consider that there is artillery probably here, here, here. I mean, there's quite a bit of artillery. They're going to have to brace for that. They have artillery set up as well. They have... Is this howitzers? They have howitzers from Russia, and then you have some 6-pounders here. They can hamper the French advance. Now, France pushing quite heavily onto the flank here. Even sent some French infantry of their own to take this, so that they have a free area to move without the coalition being able to scout. Still, though, this is proving to be kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of interesting. Like, are the coalition pushing? Are they trying to fall back? Howitzers focus down some French cav. It looks like, I think the French realize what is happening, and they're getting focused by 2 armies at once. And like I said, I think it's wise that Russia is staying in reserve for now to kind of be able to react. They may have to push into the center, and Prussia may have to push over to the flank as France is just pushing along this open slope. A lot of Imperial Guard units in the French armies today. Makes you wonder if they have just some of the 1814 French armies. But artillery is starting to throw down on this French infantry. The Prussians have a very strong defense at this point. They have a river that they can defend. Sappers still holding strong for now. Kazaki's going to be in the back lines. Hopefully they can snipe some artillery, maybe a general. We'll see. Lots of coalition infantry, like row upon row of reserves. I love seeing it. It's very awesome. Looks like the coalition are still trying to push a little bit. They're going to start pushing back on the French, who have formed up to meet Württemberg. Actually, Württemberg pushing up with some of their light infantry. Very well matched against the Grenadiers.
This building has fallen to the enemy.
I think they finally, yep, they took the LOC where the sappers from Russia were defending. I think Württemberg is going to do quite well here. They have a lot of that amazing light infantry. It's the reason I loved playing them as a custom faction. It's fun to bring that really specialty light infantry. But it looks like that rear guard from France just holding out. They're pulling back, though. In fact, they may be trying to draw the enemy into their guns. However, guys, let's look at the bigger picture here. So you got to remember, these are not just about killing the enemy. It's about holding LOCs. Each LOC, because it's not marked the number, is probably 1 point. As of right now, the coalition have only 2. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that the French have. So technically, the LK clan has the LOC advantage right now, which is actually going to cause the coalition to have to push up and take some LOCs. Having only 2, if they take another one, maybe if they focus in this town on the left flank, that'll be 3. But still, the French will have 4, so they would have to push up even further. Realistically, the best place to push would be on this right flank. Prussia, however, is probably not going to do that. That's a very tough position to assault, and they're probably not going to until, you know, they see how the battle reacts in other places. But that's how things stand right now. The coalition actually cannot just sit back and let the French do the attacking, and France doesn't have to attack. They can be defensive on the LOCs they do have. Now the question is, will they? It does look like more cavalry engaging in the rear. Russia doing what Russia does best, even if you think about during the Russian campaign that France went into Russia during the retreat. The Kazakis, the Cossacks were harassing the Grand Armée that was running around. Now we do have a cav engagement here. I think there was some artillery maybe getting sniped. Hussars went in. Now artillery may still break. We'll see. This cavalry may actually live. Nah, they won't. Ah, they will. Well, no. There's infantry pushing up on them. But maybe cost effective because the artillery did break, and they almost totally they break a cav unit as well. And I do believe we are seeing the first of the coalition's advance. This tree line, which does provide protection for the French. So this is a good position to defend for France. But if they can take this and drive them back, it does provide that shelter, though, to bullets, projectiles, and movement. So beta charges against this position will be slow, so you can shoot them in the face a little bit easier. It's not super significant to where it's like a fortress, but it will help. It will help a little bit in the defense. France obviously does not want to give up this position unless they have to. And looks like they're not totally. They're just kind of pulling back a little bit. They can always react. Württemberg push it around on the flanks as well. Keep in mind, this is the 10-pointer, the highest points on the field, so they will have to carry their weight. France is entirely pulling back, interestingly enough. I'm surprised they're pulling back so far. Maybe they think they can't take this fight. Maybe they can't. I don't know. France is also going on the offensive, interestingly enough. But they are in a consolidation. Oh, I missed a cav fight, didn't I? Oh, Polonaise. Oh, they got some excellent elite cavalry and infantry. Howitzers, though, blasting down. Russia not intending on giving up. In fact, this is a nice bottleneck. And they're going to hold it as best they can. France kind of forming a beachhead of sorts, but Prussia has tons of reserves, and now Russia can react to this. In fact, Russia is reacting to this. They can 2v1 that French army, the French army, make them a little more successful. Ortenburg is going to take this, and that's one more LSC in their pocket. We are actually seeing maybe a French push here. There's a lot of cavalry here, and not a lot of coalition cavalry to combat this. A lot of dragoons. Carabiniers. Oh yeah, this actually could be Crossiers. Man, this is actually a potential. This Württemberg's got to be careful, guys. Be very careful with pushing too aggressively. I mean, he has squares, but with elite grenadiers in coordination with the cavalry, that could be very disastrous. And it does appear the coalition's kind of pushing into... This could be a trap, actually. Coalition, if they push too far, they're going to be a counterattack on both flanks. Not totally sure. Now, we do have the French fighting for this LOC. Want to make sure I'm not missing anything even over here. France falls back. Probably because they are seeing a lot more of a reinforcement by Prussia. They're thinking they thought maybe this was a, you know, just a flanking force, but it's the entire Prussian army, basically. Another LLC down. Coalition have that. Now their rear is secure. They can start pushing up. They do only have one cavalry and a hussar. There's artillery set up. It's going to start pushing. But I'm wondering if is France truly thinking they're outmatched here? That's the question. Do they think they're outmatched, or are they just trying to pull back so the guns can do more damage? I think it's the latter. I don't think they truly are super fearful. And you can see, yeah, Württemberg is actually going to pull back from that. Very, very... You can tell, guys, both sides being very cautious. I mean, these tournament battles, not like they're for money or something, but, you know, there's a little bit more of a caution. They play a little bit more like they would if they don't want to truly lose their army. You can appreciate that, you know? Prussia looks like they're going to engage the French. I think the French are a little outgunned in most situations here. When it comes to the shooting, Prussia has some, well, I mean, these are Landwehr. Maybe that's why France doesn't want to take it. That's just cheap infantry and they don't want to waste their lines on it. Or maybe they just feel like they don't need to take that fight. That's probably very true. We haven't had any real regular line fights yet. It's been kind of just getting those angles. I suspect the real first engagement may actually be on this right flank here. Either that or France is going to keep falling back. They probably know this is the 10-pointer, and they know that they're probably the strongest, at least infantry-wise, on the field. And I do like this build they've brought of so much light infantry, backed up by the lines. But the canister is going to start dishing out some real damage. And France seems very willing to hold this position and let the canister do damage. We'll see. Let's see what France does here. Aha, we have cavalry. Excuse me. Cavalry that just broke French lines. Some dragoons from Russia. So they are starting to, I think, figure out that the French don't really have anything in the center, which means they could actually use Russia to swing around the flank. And it does feel like the coalition have a good handle on this battle so far compared to the Imperials. And they're just encircling. They're just using their numbers, guys, and probably just shredding up these units. Oh, this poor unit's gonna get shredded up by skirms. Watch. Or not. Oh no, they're gonna shoot him in the back. lot of deception being used, you know, like the French trying to make themselves look like they're stronger in certain areas, but once the coalition start pushing, all of a sudden they're like, wait a second, there's nothing there. And this force could totally, especially Russia, if Russia swung the flank, Prussia just held the right flank, and the Russians swung around here, that could be disastrous for this French army. I have no idea where all their men are, though. We actually don't know. We don't know. I've not seen a lot of French infantry on the field here. Does look like these artillery pieces are going to stand their ground. Try to fire canister as quickly as possible here. They're probably going to die in their position. A lot more cavalry, obviously, from Austria, trying to match with the French cavalry on the flank. This is probably the most infantry we have seen thus far. Oh, they can't. They must have gotten charged with cavalry or something. Oh, no, they probably, yeah. Ooh, the friendly canister not gonna help both of these guns. They're probably gonna break pretty soon here. Yikes. And they're probably focusing fire on them. They probably will actually counter pretty effectively here. It looks like we got a pretty strong flank being made. There goes one artillery crew. Yeah, this is not looking too good for this French force. They don't have enough men. They really don't. Like, they just outnumbered 5-1 almost. Yeah, they have 4, maybe 5 units to 10. Okay, 2-1. I guess would be the better thing. Oh, here we go. Oh my gosh, I started missing it. So we started dragoons crashing in here, maybe going for some artillery. Russia gonna start pushing up their infantry as well. Just like Austria is actually taking some losses here against the French, who are desperately holding this grove. They do have cavalry that's defending as well, but Russia may be actually trying to go for a counterattack here. France did reform here. You start to see them actually pushing back over towards their ally. Russia could probably get very aggressive, take that area. And we do have an artillery crew that is being charged finally, as Württemberg is going to keep pushing. France is going to have to cave back, pull back. Now maybe we'll see a consolidation here. We have an assault column being formed against Austria, but Austria can see it from a mile away, unfortunately. You need cavalry with infantry in order to make this a real stand. Now hopefully this artillery, this 5-pounder, can focus down some of this French cavalry. This French cav could prove disastrous for this Austrian line. This is truly the only place. Yep, here we go. You gotta know it's coming, guys. You have to know it's coming once you see units in cavalry pushing forward so aggressively. And that's when you start massing up the infantry in lines. Open them up so they can support each other. Cavalry massing up, artillery in a beautiful position to stop that advance. And France is gonna have to pull back. That would have proved very disastrous. They were ready to do it, but unfortunately, so much artillery from the coalition here and here, plus some howitzers firing down, it's gonna force them to fall back once again. Now, I do believe the French did bring a cav corps. Like, looking at the results here, one of the French armies is only 897 men. I'm assuming that's a cav corps. Not maybe why they don't have as much cav, but they have consolidated cav. Cav corps are nice because then, you know, you can just focus infantry. But being a cav corps can be a very challenging thing because you have to be in multiple parts of the field at once. Multitasking can be crazy. But looking at the difference in size of armies, guys, the Imperials did not bring as many troops as the coalition did. I mean, the Prussian army is 2173 and the Austrian army is 2145. Württemberg has 1867 and Russia has 16 versus the French, who have 1914 and 17 for their infantry. Like, it's not even close when it comes to a numerical superiority. And I think we're starting to see the result of the numbers from the coalition. It's just the French need to have a hard-hitting punch that's going to break the coalition. But the problem is they can't get close enough to do it, especially with the artillery and cavalry the coalition have. This is going to make it very difficult. Now, they do have some artillery, and they're going to try to use it as best they can. But so far, this battle hasn't been super high in casualties, I don't think, for a Napoleonic battle. And I expect to see some death at some point. It's going to come to a head eventually. I'm starting to see a lot of Imperials. Maybe they're going to start consolidating in yet another area. Maybe they're going to try to focus the Russian-Prussian armies. We're seeing an advance out of the tree line. Austria is actually breaking here. That's concerning. The fact of the matter is, guys, that Austria, Orchardburg on the far flank, France is ignoring it and starting to push in on Prussia and Russia. We're going to start to see a lot of cav play, though, from the 9-point Russia, or Austria. They're going to go for those guns. Can they fire in time? No, they cannot.
Our men are running, sir.
But the guns may be... No, the guns are still there. But here we go. Look at this assault. France is definitely committing to a fight in the town. Ooh, my voice, guys. This battle better end in the next like 15 to 20 minutes, whereas my voice may not be around much longer.
Our men are running, sir.
Now the cavalry do break. I think they're trying to go for French cavalry. France still pulling back as their cav kind of set up. They're still defending this tree line. Austria's line here is kind of broken up quite a bit. France's rear guard is going to be here. Now, Austria's going to have to stop and try flanking this. Same time, though, we do have France pushing into this assault on Prussia. Now, thankfully, Russia is there. I think the coalition don't have a super worrisome defense in front of them. I mean, I think they'll be fine. Especially since they just got a delay. They can take a couple losses, no problem. And France isn't moving an incredibly high amount of infantry yet into the defense. This is the first line of attack here. So I think they'll be fine. And by then, hopefully reinforcements will start pushing up here. But we'll see. We'll see. The Imperial Guard is already here. A lot of his elite infantry, a lot of grenadiers. I've seen a lot of grenadiers, so Russia may be in for a tough fight ahead of them. Now, France is committing to this, guys. I don't think he's going back on this one. So we're finally going to see some melee. The best part of these battles, we have cavalry pushing up here. Here we go. Russia is not going to be able to make it out of this fight. Now, they are trying to get the guns to start firing here. Some canister, potentially. Russia has some staggered defenses. But the Imperial Guard is going to make impact. Let's see how well Russia can take this fight. Cavalry charging in against some more infantry. Now France does have cavalry of their own. Russia seems to be taking this charge, and now they're not doing too hot here at the moment. French cavalry even charging. Oh my gosh, this is what France needed. Look at the routing from Russia. Cavalry charging in against the guns to silence them. France just all out assault here. Russia is starting to cave. Prussia throwing in some line of infantry of their own. They're trying to get infantry to back this up. More Russian cavalry charging in. Things are looking a little bit messy here with that Imperial Guard making such a significant charge. Beautifully executed by France, even charging for more Prussian guns in the rear. France pushing up on that Prussian line. And my voice is dying. There's more cavalry here behind this French line as well. Now over on this side, we do have a bit of a cav engagement here. France trying to defend as Austria pushes cav in, probably to try to refocus some of the French attention on their rear. Russia has a nice shooting gallery. France is going to have to circle around if they want to take out this line, because look at the shooting range. So Russia is answering to the melee, and France, they got to start pulling this line back and smacking in here against Prussia if they want to take this, because Russia's going to outshoot them pretty quickly here. Does look like Russia does answer. No, sorry, France does answer with another charge here. The Polonaise charging in now. Squares are formed. They're going to pull out though, and French infantry may start pushing in as well. Ooh, the Polonaise break. France still holding. France is actually countering this cavalry, and actually still a little questionable if they're going to win that engagement. But France is definitely winning. Not super decisively. I think they're taking some losses here. Russia trying to stop this. Russia is actually doing an excellent job of countering this engagement. Russia is not breaking, guys. They have some squares formed up. A lot of French infantry haven't really been able to throw themselves in on this. France breaks, unfortunately, for them, because they really need that cavalry to hold. They still have more cav that can hold this rear, but Württemberg's now going to be pushing with the rest of Austria. Austria is shifting troops around and start going for that flank. We're starting to see, though, Prussia has taken some losses, so has France. It's not over by any means. The coalition have not caved. Now, they have lost some ground. They still have a lot of artillery, though, that can counter. But they are running low on men. At least Prussia is. They're starting to run low. France pushing in on the flank as well. That was an excellent execution. I mean, I love when I can catch stuff in the act, you know.
We have killed their general.
Oh.
Now they must break.
That was probably artillery, maybe? That's unfortunate. That's a huge unfortunate upheaval. That's going to affect the French. That's going to affect their whole attack. Their morale is going to be a little bit more shaky. Now, there probably is other French generals that could be around to encourage the men. Russia is still holding. However, they have a wicked flank they're trying to counter. And it's not going too well for them. They're holding this line. France is just pushing around, trying to break through, and it seems to be working. The Russian line has held fast so far. Yeah, they've actually held on to this LOC. As much as France did make some of a dent in the enemy's lines, it does not seem to be enough. As now Württemberg is just pushing around, constantly around. And that's going to make things extremely difficult for the French, as there's a fresh 10-pointer in their back. Artillery crew does get saved by some Russian dragoons, so they can get back on the gun, start firing immediately. France, like they're trying to gun for this Russia. If they can break them, maybe they can, you know, make a dent in the lines. We have some cuirassiers who may make another charge in very, very momentarily here.
Our men are running, sir.
Focusing more on this fight than the other one, because this fight's way more crucial, I think. See what France ends up doing here. Are they going to form up? We have cavalry running in the flank. Nice charge, trying to soak up. Honestly, they're probably just trying to stop the French from getting troops up to the front line right now. There we go. The Crosshaires charging in, and Russia's in trouble. France just doing a retreating fight here and actually delaying the coalition quite effectively here. Crosshaires going in on the Prussian cavalry that then immediately breaks. We have some dragoons who are going to counter that Crosshair. Russia still holding on as best they can, but France is slowly but surely being victorious here. Man, guys, this is a crazy battle. It's not even that massive on the scale. But a lucky break. The coalition break that heavy French cavalry. Now they can go for a counter here. French form a square. But we do have another general being caught. Hussars take him out. France having to pull back from this Prussian flank. As they basically beaten them, but they need reinforcements to help out as this French defense, guys. Poor France just getting outshot. They're trying to hold on as best they can. I mean, they're actually taking a bit of damage. I mean, Württemberg's taking some damage here against this artillery on the corner that's just shooting. But Württemberg is pushing cavalry to help out Russia on the counteroffensive. LOC is being taken everywhere. I think the French are looking in a little bit of a dire situation here, as we have that counter attack by Russia proving very, very successful, and France is falling back now. So as successful as it was in defeating probably a lot of Russia and Prussia, unfortunately it wasn't enough. And Russia is now on the offensive. They still have cavalry of their own. Next little cavalry engagement here. Coalition are pulling back just a little bit. I think they realize they're actually taking more losses than the French are, who are holding this tree line. Like I said, guys, the tree line is quite effective for a defense. In this situation, at least. If anything, the coalition could range right here on that angled flank. But, I mean, they're still winning this fight. The French are saving what's left of their army. But honestly, a lot of the coalition are dead. They don't have a lot of troops left. They have a lot of cavalry, though. Especially heavy cav. Dragoons, cuirassiers. That's going to be a pain for this French army to deal with. And we'll see how effectively they use it. They're going to have to use their cav very effectively if they want to win this. However, they do have LOCs, so they don't actually have to make a huge play on this French army. France looks like they are once again shifting over. Württemberg is going to finally be facing the brunt of all what's left of this French army. Like some cavalry in the forest. May see, yep. Harassment of this French army. But yeah, man, what an intense fight. I love the tactical side versus just a massive brawl where everybody just rushes at each other and it's huge. I mean, those are fun too. But man, this was quite excellent when it comes to the fighting. Especially this offensive right into Russia and Prussia. This is possible that the Imperials are going to go into the forest to kind of make their last stand. But like I said, guys, at that point, I mean, there's only 16 minutes remaining. The French are kind of bottlenecked up. They don't have any LOCs. It's going to become very difficult for them to win this unless they make a push in a direction and take multiple LOCs at once, which I don't think they're going to be able to. I think this is going to definitely be a GR victory. But the LK clan has not gone down without a hard fight. Look at this, the harassment on the flank of this French army. Trying to catch them before they make a defense into the tree line. This cavalry has done quite an effective job breaking multiple French units. Württemberg is going to push in as well, taking advantage of the infantry being all tied up. More dragoons going to charge in here. Oh, man. All it may take is one fell swoop. With the coalition cavalry, and they may have this. That was the first one. They just need one or two more. I suspect the mass route will get triggered pretty quick here. You can see the wavering kind of affecting a lot of this French army. Keep in mind they've lost some general, at least one general.
Our men are running, sir.
Here we are, the two generals that are left. Desperate fight, you know? Knowing this may be it. Now this artillery is still firing. Probably quite brutal. You can imagine these guys have killed quite a lot of men just canistering them over and over again. Cavalry going in the back. Here we go. Artillery may break finally. Man, what a last stand, man. What a last stand. I do believe there is a little bit of a fight here, yeah, for this LOC. Not like the coalition necessarily need it, but it is there, it does exist. And the coalition look like they're just going for other, you know, other LOCs to make sure the victory is final. as the French probably are not going to be able to retreat out of this. They don't want to give any of the tree line to the coalition anyway. So I may actually, maybe I'll fast forward. They're just going to be shooting here. Kind of do the good old fast forwarding. France is just slowly but surely, the circle's slowly but surely shrinking. This look like, ooh, some infantry charged in. Maybe getting a flank. Oh, never mind. We got some cavalry charging in. This could be disastrous. So crazy. The Imperials basically refuse to break. They have come so close, but they refuse. The resilience to be able to stand outnumbered. It's insane. Here we go, another heavy cav charge now. You consider that the French actually have still reserves left. Man. We go, yet another charge here with the Dragoons this time. For the French morale has gotta be threadbare at this point. And the infantry are gonna back it up, pushing in. This is it. The coalition are pushing in. They're not getting shot up. They can push infantry. This Dragoon may break, maybe not. Maybe they'll pull it out. Either way, they're tying up a lot of infantry. The Dragoons going again against this French. The brave Dragoons do break, but Württemberg now has the edge of the tree line. Gonna push up more of this. Winded across the air cavalry. Bayonets going in. See, these guys are very tired. They're probably gonna get shot in the face, but you know, you have to do something. And they went from winded to tired just like that. Plus the tree line does slow them down quite a bit. But it'll soak up a lot of damage.
But then the fatigue, sir, it must be.
Exhausted cavalry is not going to be very effective anymore. But this whole line's about to break. There it is. The mass route gets going. And that's going to be this whole line in just a second here. It will break. Yeah, they're gonna all go. And holy cow, they haven't broke? Okay, I was about to say this line is, yeah. That's the battle, I think, guys. Yeah, that's it. So
We have killed their general, sir. Now they must break.
the final stand of France. They do have one unit over here. What I'm going to do is skip to the end, and we'll check out the results here of this battle. All right, guys. So you can see the results here. You have on the GR side. So you have the Prussia, played by Sim. He got 853 for the kills. Jacques as the Austria, 984 for the kills. You have Bagration as Russia. Ironic. Yeah. 1584 for the kills, got the most kills. Then Tony Hansen as Richardberg with 1074. On the other side, you have Bordeaux 843. You have Cossack with 340. He was, I believe, the Cav Corps. You have Crusader with 1050, and then Sigismund with 1057 for the kills. So there was still, I'm assuming Crusader and Sigismund were the ones that went in on the Russia. Maybe not, I don't know. At least Sigismund, I'm pretty sure, did. Crusader may have been the one that held the tree line for a very long time. Who knows? Either way, they fought hard. It was a close battle, although it definitely felt like the French had a bit of a rougher time, especially trying to figure out where to attack. Once they did, it was some excellent focusing down on what they wanted to do. Unfortunately, they just ran out of men. Definitely, as you can see, the numbers for the coalition versus the Imperial, it was quite a larger force on the coalition side. So, but still, a very good game. Good GGs to both sides. And yeah, thank you all so much for joining me, guys. That'll be it for me today. Until the next time, you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe. And as always, I will catch you all in another video.